This is an IP configuration for your domain controller and other servers and clients that you want to join to the domain. In this graphic, I have my domain controller, or the server that I want to promote to be my domain controller, RTS-DC1. So that is the computer name. I want this to be a domain controller, so it's going to host Active Directory domain services. And along with that, I do need a DNS server. DNS stands for Domain Naming Service. And what that service actually does, its primary responsibility is to take names and resolve those names to IP addresses. But it also helps your clients locate domain resources. So every time your client logs in, it will actually help locate a domain controller so it knows who to contact, so your user can actually have their credentials authenticated. The installation of that, as we'll see, will be an automatic process for us. Now on the IP configuration side, I'm going to use the IP address 192.168.1.250. I'm going to use the default subnet mask. That'll autofill itself in. Now, I don't want these machines connected to the internet right now, so I am not going to enter a default gateway. I'm just going to leave it blank. You won't need a default gateway unless you intend to connect to the internet, or if you're trying to connect to other networks, and we will only have the one network that we create, so no need for that. The preferred DNS server. Notice these addresses are actually the same, 192.168.1.250, because this machine will actually install DNS on itself, and it's going to be its own DNS server in our environment. And for now, I will only have one DNS server, so the alternate will actually be blank. After that's done, if I want to join other servers to the domain, like RTS SVR1, it needs an IP address. Now the IP address, I just chose 192.168.1.251, but this could have been whatever IP address you wanted, 192.168.1.7 if that's what you want. Default subnet mask. Again, I don't need to connect this to the internet, so I'm going to leave the default gateway blank. The preferred DNS server ends in 250 because this is going to be the DNS server that it actually uses. So that's where it's going to look up all name to IP resolution. That's how it's going to find these Active Directory services. And alternate DNS will be blank as well. If I were to look at my core server, it has its own IP address, default subnet mask. I don't need a gateway, preferred DNS server. Again, that's going to be this machine here. And alternate DNS will be blank. We cover IP addressing in more detail later in the course, but this is enough to have us get our Active Directory domain services installed.